Hello everybody, my name is Matt and welcome back to Cosmoteer. Now last episode I told you guys that I'm gonna try to make the strongest ship possible, and that I did try my best. Now, honestly, this was a complete disaster. But I did learn a lot of things, so it might have worked out, and I thought to myself, you know what, let's make a different kind of episode where I show you guys the process of how I tried to make the toughest ship possible, and then I did make them fight each other at the end with some of my strongest ship possible. It did not go well. I thought to myself, you know, snipers are usually kind of really good. So long as you stay out of the range, you'll usually be fine. And maybe I should, like, lean into that more. Maybe I should, like, focus on armor more. But the funny thing is, my stronger ship actually has very little armor. It does have a lot of rail guns and particle cannons, though. Very little armor. And it mostly uses shields that are... So, by the way, this ship that I'm talking about right now doesn't even use heat at all, and it just completely blasted this one to just it just did it. Okay, it was minced meat at the end. But I really wanted to use heat still, and it just didn't really work. As you noticed, the point defense in the front actually does just recharge by itself when you connect it with heat, and I wasn't even sure how many railguns or particle cannons I wanted to add. It did seem smart to space out the particle cannons with the railguns though, because, well, the particle cannons, they have an EMP effect, and it just seems a little silly to put them next to each other then you would just have, you know, EMP effects going off right next to each other, and I mean, that's just nonsense. At the sides, honestly, I have no idea what I was doing. I just knew to myself that I kind of wanted to use different weapons. Mostly because I'm not entirely sure how they work yet with heat. So I probably should have tested this before I started the ship design. You know, now that I say it out loud, I'm actually going to start up Cosmoteer in a second and actually try all the weapons, like, differently when they're heated up, or, well, overclocked, I guess. But, yeah. No, as you can see, there is quite a bit of armor, an okay amount of armor, and I did struggle with heat management a lot. Like, those point defense were generating a lot more heat than I thought. And I had a really tough time just exhausting all of it. I actually had to make the radiators at the side of my ship at the very front almost-ish. And I should have probably made a lot more shields. I don't know what went wrong, but when I paired it up against my ace, which you can actually see in my library right now at the very top left, that's the ace, it's the huge cube, I think. The ace just has particle cannons as well, and it just disabled all of my shields immediately. So afterwards, I put in more armor, but for now, I'm just testing how much damage the ship outputs. I don't know, I always like to use an armored cube to see what the ship is up to, and most of the things that you see at the back are mostly temporary, like, you know, you have the huge quarters at the back. Those are the blue shirts, by the way. I always like to have the blue shirts operate all of my guns and devices, and then the red shirts at the front will do, like, you know, supplying of the ship. And I'm not sure if it was a good idea to even put the chain guns there. Maybe I should have made more flak. Maybe I should have... Honestly, I have no idea. I really struggled with point defense as well, because the ace has a lot of missiles, which I think took me out in the end. Like, eventually, this ship and the ace were able to take out each other's railguns and particle cannons, but this ship right now doesn't have enough weapons to actually take out a ship fully. Maybe, I mean, to be fair, it is mostly hollow still, and the back, as you can see right now, like, this is kind of the final-ish design I ended up with for the front. But the sides, you know, I also kind of struggle with that because, dude, the heat management is a little crazy. I want to have extra pipes everywhere in case piping breaks. And, well, because if piping breaks, that would be really bad. Because, well, I mean, otherwise my entire ship is just gonna heat up and it's gonna fry itself from the inside. So I had to make sure I had more piping routes than technically needed. It just felt like a safer bet. I also wanted to add overclocked shields in the front, I read that denser shields take up less energy when they're hit, but if you make them bigger, well, the shields will just be bigger, but they won't actually use up less energy. So I didn't really see the point in using that, but you know, I mean, look at that. Did you see what happened there? That entire corner is gone. And maybe there's nothing you can do about it, maybe, but that is a little ridiculous. I don't know how I made my ace that powerful. I mean, if you look at the ace right now, and I zoomed on it for a tiny bit, the shields at the front, they feel very, I mean, they just don't feel like enough, and yet it survived the particle cannons and railguns on this ship just absolutely fine. So I'm not exactly sure what went wrong there. To be fair, I think I might have had more shields on the ace. I don't know, because these shields are also overclocked, and they're made denser as well with the overclocking. There's no way that those shields, that normal shields are just so much better than overclocked shields, right? To be fair, I'm relying on heat up. I think almost every single device and weapon on my ship, if not all, are overclocked. Is that silly? Am I loving the heat update too much? I mean, I hope you can't blame me, because the overclocked weapons are simply absolutely incredible. Also, here's a good example of the missiles coming in from the ace, right? I mean, yeah. My point defense cannot keep up. I might have even removed point defense just to add more armor, thinking it might save me from particle cannons and the railguns, but no, it did not. I also added large reactors to the front. I'm not sure if that was a good idea, but I always like to space the large reactors like a lot, I like to say, but they might not be spaced out enough. Also, just so it's clear, guys, I don't usually watch YouTubers or anyone play Cosmoteer. I have always played this game on my own, so you know, I'm sure I have my own very silly little mistakes, and I don't really read about Cosmoteer or the wiki or see kind of what the meta is. I mean, I kind of try to figure it out for myself and see what happens. I think it's kind of interesting that way, and maybe it's interesting for you as well to see what a person who lives under a rock does. But that's also why I'm making this video. I thought it'd just be interesting to share my build process. I don't even know what I was doing here. Oh yes, this is the part where I was adding more armor. As you can tell, there's already way less. Oh, I added more point defense because I was probably getting railed by the missiles. Yeah, that checks out. And you know, as I said, I realized that I do not have enough weapons to take out the ace in the first place. I mean, and the ship is mostly hollow still. We gotta keep that in mind. But I added thermal lances. Maybe I could have added more thermal lances. I'm not really sure, to be honest. I hope the thermal lances, by the way, kind of spread out their aim a bit more, because if I don't know if like damage adds up if thermal lances are targeting one spot. It might not matter that much anyway, but it does seem like a smart idea to have multiple thermal lances anyway on such a big ship, just in case one or few were to break. And afterwards, I should definitely add more missiles to the ship, because the ace also has flags in the front, I believe, and those do defending, but they also do attacking, and you know, it does a little bit of damage. So if I can, quote unquote, void that incoming damage by using missiles, and the missiles also being good for attack, you know what I'm getting at? I mean, this ship was just not ready to take on the ace, and yet I really wanted desperately for the front to survive the absolute menace that the ace is. As you can see, I think it is holding up better. I might eat my words in a second, because I do hear another few oh, that's my shots. You know, sometimes I thought to myself that my ship was actually holding up pretty well. Maybe it is now. I did really... Oh, that looks really bad, actually. Okay. Well, I mean, the moment a large reactor in the front explodes, that is already... Oh, but that is... Those are some really good shots from this new ship. I could also send you guys the design. I might send you, like, you know, I don't know if you guys know this, but I can... You can share ships with each other very easily. I think they're just images of the ship, and then they somehow get imported very easily. I am using mods though. Did I use mods for this? I hope it didn't use too many mods for this. I should probably disable mods next time. and just try making a win in that ship. Now that there are more weapons, I guess, well, more weapon types, I guess. It's not like there are different weapons per se, but with the heat management updates, there sure are a lot of new things. Also, why? But yeah, now it's gonna be the previous recording might gonna talk, so, you know, I'll see you fellas later. Alright, guys. As you saw, it's been a rough while. And I'll probably do like commentary over like the sped up building and I don't know, go through my thoughts as I was building it. I'm gonna end recording for now. And I wanted to quickly share that like this here is temporary, the thrusters here are temporary, of course. This armor here is temporary. These radiators are this might all be temporary, I think. But yeah, it was a shame that I had to remove so much in the front and just replace it with armor, because those prototype cannons, they just disabled this entire row of shields. It's crazy. And so I might even just have to remove this entire front as well. Might have to remove the chain guns, just plaster armor everywhere just to tank a bit more. Maybe plaster shields more. I don't fucking know even. Like, I've completely lost the plot. And I'll probably add some like internal missiles or man, I don't even know what I can do. I mean, guys, this thing is mostly hollow still, right? So fighting a ship that is like 3 times my price is always gonna be a little tough to defeat. Maybe I just remove this part as well and replace it with armor. Honestly, let me just do that already, because this just might be silly. Hell, I could even just remove all of this then. I mean, I just need so much more armor. But yeah, tell me what you guys would do if you were in my shoes. Like, how would you defeat this monstrosity? I just don't know. It doesn't even have that much armor at the front. It's mostly shields. And then a lot of missiles. So many missiles at the back. To be fair, those missiles are quite deadly. Oh, and even inside there's quite a bit of armor. Alright, fair enough. And tons of micro missiles as well. But yeah, alright, enough yapping for now. I hope you guys enjoyed as much as I did. Feel free to share me your ship designs or ideas for the next episode. But yeah, that was my monologue from back when I was recording the game still. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. Feel free to leave advice, feel free to hate on me, and I'll see you guys next time.